All right, things seem to be good. The technology is working very well. This is Bob Torsey. I want to thank everybody who's joining us. This is the Tuesday in Excel overview. It's kind of a special one. It's special for this reason. I know that everybody's been on the road working diligently, and we expected to have a whole lot of things today. We still have a whole lot of things to share with you today. Not a whole lot, but significant things to share. And we are going to cover three little topics. You know, I usually set it up that way. First of all, we're going to hear from my partner in crime, Janet. She's going to share a little information with us momentarily. We're going to talk about some hot things that are coming down the pike. We got our hands full, as always. And we tried to get it all done for today. But, you know, with the 4th coming and all that, I guess we just might relax like everybody else. And then we're going to say a few words about 4th of July. So anyway, one thing that happened this week was that Janet was playing Road Warrior. And she's got a few things to share about that. Janet, excuse me, why don't you pop on here and tell everybody the trouble that you all got into in Carson City, Nevada.
Bob, I would be happy to. It was one of those absolutely incredible trips. First of all, arrived in Reno, to a group of 4 women who are leaders in the Reno area. Had a great supper, really got to talk to them and share and do some wonderful things. And then the following morning on Thursday was fantastic because I met with a few more people, met with Greg, who's going to be opening a CBD store in Reno, Nevada on Kitsky Lane. Right near downtown, a great location, so that was really exciting. From there, I had the opportunity to drive to the airport and pick up Mr. John Rustin. And I'm in what I called Little Miss Mint. Little Miss Mint is a Ford Fiesta and a mint color because it was the only car left. It was Reno Rodeo. So it made it a little interesting driving this little tiny car with Janice and John in the back seat who could barely fit. And we drove down to Carson City, and the most incredible thing happened there. We walked into an event with 85 people. Over half of the people at the event were guests. 2 had driven from Sacramento over the mountain 3 hours to get there. 1 had flown in from Arizona. And the reason I tell you that is because Nexel is just the most exciting and wonderful opportunity. You know, the biggest thing that happened with John was he got to share with people about the value of their stories and how important it is to be able to have a story and tell your story to others. It's about sharing what you know about the Nexel products. And so it was really fun to have that happen. Well, during the event, a woman stood up and she shared a testimonial. And so I want to read what she sent me in an email, and we're going to have her on a call next week. She's amazing. And so just give me a couple minutes to get through this. All right. So basically what she's talking about here is this is a very long email, but she was compelled to send the whole story. I first tried Nexel CBD tincture after buying a bottle from Janet at the Holiday Craft Show and Mall in Carson City around November about 2 years ago. I had just been told by my doctor to try to slowly quit taking Paxil, since Paxil and Prozac had been found to be bad for older people. I had been on one or the other of these medications for about 20 years and also on either Xanax or Klonopin for anxiety and depression. My doctor suggested CBD oil to help with withdrawal from the Paxil. I had just happened to run into Janet on the same day that my doctor's appointment was happening. The CBD tincture helped tremendously with getting off the Paxil. I didn't think I could have done it without it. I understand all the CBD oil and since I used all the CBD oil, and since I was fine because I was still on the Klonopin, I didn't get any more CBD. Then when I was off the Klonopin, because it was an opioid, I had recently been forced to retire from my job, which I had held for a long time, which caused lots of stress, both emotionally and financially. My husband was having bad health, and then no Klonopin to cope with the anxiety. I fell apart. Since I could not remember who I bought the CBD oil from, and I didn't know how to get in touch with them, I started to try to find another CBD oil which would help me. I tried the health food store, the medical marijuana dispensary, online vendors, and even a homemade version from a friend. The quality, consistency, taste, etc. was all over the place. I tried with THC and without THC. I tried CBD that looked like dirt in water and CBD that was totally clear. I tried gummies. I tried hemp oil from Walmart. Some worked some, but didn't nothing like what happened with the Nexel CBD. Then, by a miracle, I found the sack with the business card that came with the Nexel CBD, and I had bought at the show in the mall. Steve, my husband, called the number on the card immediately. Janet and Terry dropped everything, whatever they were doing, and met us in a way out of the way spot so that I could get the CBD. I will never forget the kindness of these two people who didn't know me but immediately took the time to help me. I was seriously in bad shape, and I do believe that the CBD tincture that they delivered to me that day saved my life. This is what I wanted to say. It is not just the excellent CBD product, but also the wonderful and caring people like Janet and Terry Jada, which makes Nexel so special. They helped a stranger who was going through some tough times, but by being caring enough to go out of the way to make sure that I got what I needed so badly. Now, I got to meet this woman. They met on a street corner on a dark road in the middle of nowhere. They got up and just went to take care of this woman. And that is who our leaders are in the Carson City area. This woman is beautiful. She is going to be on a webinar, and I think that she is just amazing. That was not the only testimonial we heard. We heard many. And one of the most important ones that we heard, we have talked about in the past, but the difference is Dr. Larry was at the event. And so Dr. Larry got to explain a little bit about what actually happened when this woman took the CBD product. She got up and she shared about how she literally was able to deal with her IBS 1 week after taking the CBD. And the reason that's so important is because Dr. Larry, his head turned to the right, and then his head turned to the left, and he had the microphone. And what Dr. Larry really explained to each and every one of us in the room was how the endocannabinoid system works. What really happens with CBD? What happens with beta-caryophyllene? And why it made such a difference for her with her IBS. His explanation was absolutely phenomenal. And the biggest conclusion he came to is that absolutely, bar none, the reason that she is not dealing with her IBS issue any longer is because of the CBD capsule with the curcumin that she was taking. So she had the CBD with the beta-caryophyllene and the curcumin in the capsule, and that is what made the difference. When you think about the Nexel products and the value of what we have, it's about our consistency. It's about our quality, and it's about the caring that we have as a company to bring you the best quality product in the market. One of the things that I got to experience was I talked with John, and John was telling me about how he had done all of this research on CBD oil companies. And he said, our manufacturer, bar none, is the best in the world. Now, that's something I had already known, but sure is nice to hear it from someone else. And so that just reiterated what we know about Nexel. What you have in your hand is a blessing. And that blessing is your own faith and story about what you've been able to do with your own personal CBD. That's Nexel. That's where we're going. We've got some great, exciting things coming up in the future, and we will let you know next week what those are. So, Bob, I hope that gave a little understanding of what I was doing. But let me tell you one last quick thing. It took me 2 days to get home, and they lost my luggage. But guess what? My CBD was in my carry-on, so I was able to make it. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Janet. Yeah, I know being a road warrior isn't all that pleasant. When I came back from Ruidoso, I got stuck too, and I was whining like I do when I don't get my way. I was sleeping underneath the chairs in the DFW airport. That was not good. I said, what the heck am I doing here? But I've been doing it most of my life. I finally got home, saw my dog, and got into my home and said, I'm safe. So welcome back. That was a trip for you. And thanks for reviewing those testimonials and some of Larry's input as well. You know, we have had some interesting discussions, my friends, and you know, we go over these things topically, I guess we'll call it, subjectively, when we do our overview. But, you know, everybody in the marketplace, I mean, we just heard a testimonial that said that we had oil that looked like, you know, there was oil and dirt and all kinds of ugly things like that. Did you ever notice that everybody claims that theirs is the best? Did you ever notice that they say, well, we've got all of these things and it's the very best? Did you ever hear somebody say, I got the junkiest stuff on the market? No. So what happens is, as marketing minds, and it's challenging when you've got this much competition out there, we start to realize that our unique differentiator, although it will stand and speak for itself, our unique differentiator is the organization that we're going to build. And it's happening. You know, I keep on saying, like last year, well, the Farm Bill's passed. That ought to give us a little boost. And then something else gets involved. And it's just a part of that entrepreneurship that we're all involved with. It's a part of that risk-taking thing. You know, most of us are risk adverse, but you know, if you want a chance, you got to take a chance. And here we are, still playing with this CBD thing. It's still phenomenal. I just love the product, and I certainly love the company. Now, the company, I don't like to use the word change. People freak out over change, but it is an absolute. Things are going to be coming down the pike. Janet's aware of this, and the whole team is. And we've got to be uniquely poised to take advantage of this tremendous marketplace that's out there. Now, you've already heard the math. I was going to read the presentation tonight, and I just want to shoot through it because I've got a tendency that I know who's on the call. We are Nexel. We're headquartered in Austin, Texas. It was founded by Steve Smith. He is the co-founder of Excel. I met Steve 27 years ago. We did very, very well in the long-distance business. Steve is one of the most persistent people that I know. He always says, can you change that word for me when I say he's indefatigable or indefatigable, however you want to say that. And it means that, he gets tired, but he doesn't show it that often. And he hangs in there. And in a very recent conversation with him, he reminded me that there is no failure in this equation. There is nothing that's going to stop his vision. And he's still got this incredible vision. There's some competition out there that's, they're formidable, but they can be beaten. And his focus is to take this organization to a level of excellence that he can be proud of. That's going to be his legacy, and we're all going to be a part of that. Introducing CBD. And although it starts out a little bit slowly, we've got some marketing minds who are involved in the business now who will take us to the next level of excellence. Social media. We got some super hot videos coming. We've got some things that deal with currency that you don't even understand yet, because I don't either. But anyway, things are happening that are just fantastic. Cutting edge, things that Steve and I didn't even think about because they didn't exist back in the day when we were selling long distance. So in order to be responsive, that's, rather than saying we're going to change this, we're going to change that. No, we've got to be responsive to the marketplace. And we know that the global market's going to be $57 billion. That is a whole lot of money. And we know that that's a bit of a moving target. I think it's moving up. But all we have to do is think about 2022, which isn't that far away, and we'll be looking at $22 billion. A couple points, a couple percent of a $22 billion industry is not out of the realm of possibility. And the people who are on the call, the people who are going to be in our new webinar format, I thought we would have had it ready today, but we didn't. That's my fault. I'm sorry. But let's just move on. It's going to come, and then you're going to say, oh, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? Surprise, surprise. It's happening now because we've got to be responsive in order to create this global footprint. Now, what else? So Janet's got some testimonials. We hear those. We're going to put real people on the stage. We're going to put real people on the call. I mean, I'm a real person, but you're sick and tired of hearing that, I can sleep all night now. I mean, but that's my story. That's my truth. That's what's happening. And if you get a good night's sleep and you wake up the next day, it changes the complexion of your day. And I'm not a kid, you know that. So I kind of like what's going on with the input from other people. We've got that new store opening up. I didn't hear Judy. I think Judy was going to come on today. She had a guest. But anyway, any of the guests who are here, you might say, well, what's all this about? I just want to tell you that the whole world is sick. There are some people saying, what's all the fuss about? They're young. They haven't been hurt. They don't suffer from some of the things that we do. But here's the deal. If you look at this endocannabinoid system just a little bit, listen to Dr. Larry. He's coming back. It's all rolling nicely. You're going to find out how messed up our bodies have been. You're looking at 80 years of starving the endocannabinoid system over oil, for God's sake. But it's this product that is now becoming more and more acceptable. And I think the consumer confidence is going to improve as we establish ourselves not only as great marketing people, good people that are helping other people, but all of these diseases that are out there. It's like the disease of the week. I can't watch TV long enough because I've got some disease flying at me and some pill and all kinds of, and I'm saying, oh my goodness. Well, that's because, we've been deprived, and the endocannabinoid system it's been whining for a long, long time. Now we're going to bring it back. We're going to return a whole lot of people to health. Now, do you have to be as wise and experienced in CBD as Janet? Do you have to be as wise and as experienced as Dr. Larry McCleary, a neurosurgeon? No. Do you have to know everything there is to know about this product? No. Just know it works. You're going to learn over a period of time. You're going to have a battery of videos that are going to do the talking for you. Our back office is getting stronger. If you see what I think it got stuck in there today. But anyway, I don't want to ramble anymore because you hear that. But there's only one reason why we don't or haven't accomplished certain things. That's because there's so many changes in the industry, and you publish a certain brochure, and then the next week that isn't accurate, and this is the truth. And Oh my goodness gracious. So anyway, I want you to hang in there because great things are happening. For the people who are on the call, the guests specifically, thank you again for being here. You know, I got to ask you a few questions, regardless what we talked about today. You know that we're involved in the marketing of a great product, and I got to ask you. You know, it doesn't make good sense for you to try to help others. If it makes good sense, then just get with the person that invited you today. Go to the website, spend a little time, do your research. I think the educated consumer, as long as they don't overdo it, is going to be far more confident when they make their decision. Then you got to ask the other question: can I build a business with these people? Anybody can build a business with us if you want to. If you don't want to, you're not going to do it. If you're not going to talk to people, it's probably not going to happen. And we're going to get people dreaming again about some things that we may not have been dreaming about for a while. I'm a crazy dreamer. I'm always dreaming. I'm always looking for something out there, and that's just like the kind of guy that I am. But a lot of people are looking at this space, and they're looking at $22 billion or whatever that grows to. And then you say, well, how can I get into that cannabis spot? Well, you're not going to grow it. You're not going to process it. You're not going to be squeezing oil and selling it in bottles. And chances are the percentage of people, short of individuals who are going to sell the product for us anyway, you're not going to go out there and open up a big store. So how do you get involved? You have $14.97. If you can pay 10 months of that and come into the business, you're going to have everything that you need. Well, what we need the most? What Nexel needs the most is you, the guests that are on the call, the people who are thinking about it. Most people really aren't even on the fence. They think in their mind, it's one of those, or I don't even know if I hate selling, whatever it is. Change the way you think about these businesses that are out there. Be the boss. Quit trading dollars for money. Be the boss. Work when you want to. Meet some great people. You're going to feel real good about it. And it's all about leverage. We'll talk about the math some other day. The video with all the math on it looks pretty good. If you spend some time with John, and you spend some time with John and me. I mean, we're going to be on the street. We're going to be talking about some pretty big numbers, and some of them are actually a bit startling. But we want you to be startled. We want you to look at it and say, you mean I can take, you can have as much of it as you want. And that's pretty much our right to have as much of it as we want. So that's enough of that overview tonight. Once again, I want to thank the people on the call. Thank Jen, and it's good that you made it home. I know you had a long day, and you still got on the call. I want to close tonight by telling you, well, you already know it, the Independence Day happens to be on Thursday, so we're not going to be doing this on Thursday. I'm going to eat hot dogs and watch fireworks with my grandkids, and it's going to be a fine day celebrating the ratification of the Declaration of Independence. And I'm not going to bore you with any stories. I'm not that smart. I Google stuff, and it's amazing what comes up. Some of the history that a lot of people don't know. I didn't. I remember the way it worked in the 13 colonies, and John Hancock had his name all by itself down on the bottom, and he was the chairman of the Continental Congress, and all the stuff. But what was really interesting is when they penned that thing. They changed it a bunch of times. Sounds like us. But they had to get it right. They had to accommodate everybody. But the thing that just blows my mind is the word independence. We are sovereign. We are a nation. We are us, and you're not. and we left. Isn't it interesting? By the way, I think my math is right. That was 243 years ago. 243 years ago. We said, yeah, Great Britain, that's enough of this. And now there are, our greatest ally. Times change. And times are going to be changing for us. We live in the land of opportunity. Opportunity is on every single corner. We've got to celebrate our abundance, celebrate our freedom, thank all those who defended us and protect us every day, and understand that, man, you can go a lot of places in the world. I still think, for whatever reason, we're living in the best place on the planet. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So everybody have a great 4th of July. You're going to be getting your emails and texts as we introduce this new brand of call that we're going to have, and it's going to be good. They're all going to be webinars, and that way you'll get a chance to see our faces. Oh my goodness! I'll have to go get my hair done. Anyway, happy 4th of July. Be safe. Don't let the kids get near the firecrackers. I will talk to you soon. Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.